G'day all, Dutchy here. So it's been a while since I've done a video on the WRX Mini. I've been enjoying the drives. I've been going to car shows, events, all that sort of stuff. So really enjoying the car for what it is at the moment, and getting out when the weather is getting a little bit warmer. So yeah, really enjoying it. I guess part of driving it around, you start to find little things that aren't working so well that you want to be working well. So one of them being the brakes. There seems to be a bit of an issue at the moment with the front brakes. I'm not getting enough pressure to the front brakes, more so to the rear. There's a few telltale signs that I've been sort of looking at as to what's going on. But yeah, the brake pedal itself seems to, you get to set of lights, you apply some brake pressure and it's not pulling up like it used to, but then it's also, you sit at the set of lights and where it would normally just sit firm, it's just creak, 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 creak. It keeps sort of creaking down, the pedal keeps moving down. So my first thought was, oh shit, maybe I've got some brake fluid leaking somewhere and the pressure's not being applied to the front brakes. So that was sort of one of the sort of concerns at the beginning, but had a look around the car and that's not the case. So what I'm thinking is that it's probably a master cylinder. But I'll flick the camera around, we'll have a look, and I'll show you some of the signs that I'm seeing that are leading towards a master cylinder. So let's have a look. So of course, thinking that maybe there's a leak, concerned there's a leak, the first thing I'm going to do is go and check the reservoirs. And you can see from the reservoirs that they're still quite full, yeah? So this is the front reservoir, it sits up here. The rear is pretty much in line with it, and the clutch also is pretty good. So it's definitely not leaking fluid to the point where it's going everywhere and I'm, going to run out of fluid. A couple other signs I've noticed is the brake supplying obviously more to the rear is because of the brake dust. So the brake dust itself on the front is not as much as a normal car would have for a front wheel. All right, so you can see it's quite clean. If I go to the rear, you can see that this, I reckon there's almost double the brake dust that sits on the rear wheels. Now, the car does have a brake bias adjustment as part of the Wilwood pedal kit. I do have it set 50-50, so it should be relatively even. The engine is in the rear, and the engine is, the split, sorry, for the rear is only 56 to the rear percent versus 54% to the front. So it's not a massive difference, not enough to sort of make it almost double the brake dust or pressure to the rear. So the other thing I was going to explain, and I mentioned just before, is the brake pedal. So at the moment I'm running 3/4 inch master cylinders on these. There's two of them, front and rear, and as you can see there's the brake bias adjustment, which is sitting 50-50. So when I was saying before, you sit there at the lights and you apply some pressure and you get this creak, and you think you're just holding it firm, and then it just keeps going, right? Slowly, just one creak at a time. So the creaking's probably a telltale sign something's not quite right, but also the fact that it just keeps going down and down and down. Now, 3/4 inch, you can see it doesn't go down a lot, right? So you have to put a lot of brake pressure or foot pressure onto the brake pedal to get it to stop. The pedal doesn't travel a lot. So there's a couple of things I'm looking at. First of all, the master cylinders, are they any good? Are they got a problem? I think the fluid itself is circulating inside the master cylinder through the seals, but not actually applying the pressure back to the caliper, because I don't have any leaks anywhere, so it must be leaking internally somewhere. So what I'm going to do, what I did was quickly test the master cylinders as well, just by touching the master cylinder while I applied the brake pressure. And I can feel that the rear master cylinder is quite smooth. You put the pedal down, you can hear that creaking, but you can't feel anything. So I went around to the other side, the front master cylinder, put my fingers on it, put the pedal down, and I can hear and feel the creaking come through my fingers in the master cylinder. So I think the front one is the problem. The front master cylinder is leaking internally, hence why I'm not getting enough pressure to the front brakes, why it's not pulling up like it used to. So I'm going to do, I originally thought, you know what, I'll do a master cylinder repair kit. So I bought a master cylinder repair kit for the 3/4 front and rear, the Wilwood pedal kits. master cylinder kit. So I was going to do that, and then I thought, you know what, it's really hard to apply the brakes. So what I was going to do is change the actual master cylinder. So I bought some new kits, some Wilwood goodies. Alright, so each box contains one, it's a master cylinder, but I'm changing it to 0.62. So the 0.62 is a 5/8. So I'm going from 3/4 to 5/8 bore. And what that's supposed to do is allow the brake pedal to travel a little bit more. I don't have to use as much force, but it should also apply a bit more brake with less pedal pressure. So as long as I've got the room for travel, then it should be okay. So I'm going to change these over both front and rear master cylinders. And I'll probably just repair the other one as well, just keep that up my sleeve just in case. Then I'm going to adjust the brake bias to more of a front bias just a little bit to see if it makes a difference. But yeah, so that's my project for the next couple of days, just tinkering, in between jobs and other bits and pieces. So I'll get onto that and I'll let you know what the update is, or I'll put another video up if I find out that it's leaking internally. It's going to take a little bit. I've got to pull the dash out. I've got to probably pull the steering column out. I'm not sure yet. So the challenge with the Mini is everything's got to come out to get to it. So I'll get that underway and I'll keep you updated. All right, guys. Cheers.